Good morning, Internet, and welcome back to the Ironic Paradise. I brought you back a bit early. I haven't even unpaused the game yet. So we'll go over what's going on, and then we'll go look at the very, very weird thing, which is why the game is paused. So this volcano took another 20 cycles for it to become active. I'm slowly sucking the heat out of the debris in here, getting it out. Over here, I built a solid room, put in my petroleum airlocks. There was a chunk of neutronium here, which was weird. I then put in this door by having... I can't even... I haven't unpaused at all, so it doesn't even recognize that I can build anything. But essentially, I put 2 more insulated tiles, deconstructed 2, put in the door, put in the automation, and then replaced the insulated tiles with metal tiles, and I'm slowly sucking the heat out. Phosphorus... Any of you who have ever melted some by accident next to a volcano has a thermal conductivity of 0.2 and steam is only 0.18. So this is actually more conductive than steam. I do think this door opening and closing will slowly eat this phosphorus out of here, which is fine. Once that's a vacuum, I can then dig down and make these solid. As you can see, we're already starting to solidify some igneous rock. Otherwise, the deodorizers have cleaned up the air. I did bring over some food, you just can't see it yet. So at this base, that's what it's doing, another 20 cycles. Let's come over here. So in a few videos, I think I've talked about how this oxygen system keeps breaking. That I come and I find my hydrogen, the water in my hydrogen frozen. I'll explain what I'm talking about. Over here, you have a layer of water below 2 kilograms, which allows this vent to work. And whatever comes out of this vent should keep the water warm. Same thing up here. This hydrogen's at 35. That water should be around 35. Down here, 20 and 20. That works perfectly fine. Here we have a very similar setup. It's 35 up there, that water's 35. Over here, my water kept freezing. And I was like, well, that's just weird. My water should not keep freezing. And it was like 6 or 7 times that I found that, and I finally replaced it with petroleum. Then the petroleum froze. So I said, screw it. I will replace it with supercoolant. That's a 700 kilogram chunk of frozen hydrogen. I got the building entombment warning. That's frozen hydrogen. There is nothing around here that should be that cold. This cooling loop is up here and it's 15. This hydrogen's coming in there at 30. There is no active cooling inside of there. Nothing passes through there. Somehow, I have cooled this down to negative 265 degrees. I don't understand how that's even possible. My best guess is this drywall. Some sort of interaction now happens in space. Like the rocket I saw that had the liquid carbon dioxide. There's some parts of space. At first I thought maybe there was some drywall behind here, but there isn't. So it's got to be some of this drywall that it thinks must be cold. I am so very confused. So we are going to cheat a little bit because, there's no way I froze hydrogen. So we're just going to sneak in some radiant pipe into here and see if that will warm it up. And normally I try not to go into debug mode, but when you end up with passive frozen hydrogen, that's enough to bring you guys in and be like, yeah, does anybody know what's going on? And let's see, I need to make sure I get hydrogen in there. So that should be that. And then, yeah, one of those has power. Oh, and just unpause, which is kind of chunky. Okay, so that then melted the hydrogen. There's some more frozen hydrogen over here. Like, I can't believe I have to put in active heating for this. Just wacky. Okay, so doing that definitely went and melted the hydrogen right away because it's frozen hydrogen. Making liquid hydrogen is hard. Making frozen hydrogen is even harder. And somehow I passively cooled it to a stupid cold temperature. The good news is these might not have to be active anymore if this is going to passively cool. Alright, now that we're unpaused, we can come over here. We got in thermium. There's Gene's back with the rocket with thermium in it. Swapped all those over to thermium. And then power-wise, I have this one and these two plugged into the power grid. So those ones are feeding the power grid, and then the aquatuners run off of the grid itself. I kept running into circuit overloading issues. See, that is over pressure. That one's dormant. That one's dormant. This is what I was saying, that why I think this is going to eat this phosphorus, is this door is open. And when it opens, it has less connectivity than when it's closed. So yes, heat will still come through, but not as fast. And so this thermosensor is actually working. The temperature in here is stable. And then the water's all dripping right next to these tiles, which will then suck the heat out. And since this is a big chunk of obsidian, what I'm hoping is I can solidify this bit of magma, and then I can dig down into here. I'm just so curious as to what the temperature on this is going to settle out as. And it's just so weird that, like, this hydrogen is coming in warm. Like, that's 30-degree hydrogen, and yet ended up freezing in here. I still got some debris up here. Dupes, come clean stuff up. And yeah, my best guess is it's got to be these drywall that somehow space is now cold where space used to be hot. So I'm just thinking that somehow... Oh, my dupes can't even get over there. That tile's in the way. Never mind. Alright, that's all nice and full. Negative 20. I mean, it is warming up. Just, wow. I'm going to keep an eye on this pressure. Oh, did this get... No, it's still working. So yeah, if this corner is 7.6... Now, because the problem is this igneous rock keeps forming and changing the pressure. But I think this used to be 8.2. Yeah, nothing else has changed and that's come down. Okay, so that door will eventually eat. I don't know if it'll get it down to a vacuum, but it should get most of the pressure out of here. That's one way of getting rid of super hot phosphorus. One of the main issues with phosphorus, and I think I mopped it all, is phosphorus liquefies at 280, but it doesn't freeze until like 30. Like it takes a lot to get it down to a solid. So you just end up with these weird pools of liquid phosphorus. 12 kilograms of oxygen. What's the food like over here? Alright, food is mostly stabilized. Alright, let's let this eat some phosphorus for a little bit, then we'll be back. I just really wanted to not unpause until you saw a frozen chunk of hydrogen with no active cooling. The thing I haven't tried is whether or not I think you can build through doors. Let me try this. I'm going to leave that door locked and see if they can't build through it. That will help speed things along. We'll also make a vacuum in there. I just can't remember if they can build through locked doors. Come on, dudes. Where did you go? Oh, you're all eating. Alright, well, we'll let them eat. Well, they unbuilt the blocks. And then got called to lunch. Yeah. Well. Doesn't say it's unreachable. Yeah, the temperature in here is spiking. It'd be nice if, you know, people would come do this. It's up to 250 in there. Come on, you're the fast builder. Do it. Nice. Yay, that worked. Right, get out of the way. Alright, green signal if you're above 210. There. Now that is a vacuum. What that also means is as the temperature comes down, I can actually take out these, put in insulated tiles, dig through this door, and work my way down into the magma. But that should do a better job of getting the heat out of here because now there's a physical, now that they're physically touching, they'll conduct temperature faster. Once the temperature in here comes down. Yeah, we're already starting to get solid chunks down here. So the thermal conductivity of phosphorus is 0.23. Thermal conductivity of rock is 2. So you move quite a bit more heat each time this door closes down into here. You can see the obsidian's already down 100 degrees below the magma. So that will then spread out. Yeah, see even more is forming over there. Like, I don't need it to be cold, I just need it to be solid. Because once it's solid, my dupes can come in, put down a layer of insulating tiles, and then I can tame... I might just tame both of these together. Just dig through, surrounded with insulated tiles. I just need it to be a solid first. Thought we'd pop back over here and see what this effect was, and yeah, it's just making everything cold. To be fair, there is 1,000 kilograms of negative 150 degree hydrogen in there. That's gonna take a while to cool down, or to warm up. My heater's trying to... My passive cooling, whatever this is now being fought by the space heater. I should try to keep the plants alive. Oh, that's funny. Oh, perfect. Alright, once that chunk is solid, then I'm going to come through, put solid tiles over here, and dig down. There it is. Now these don't need to be fancy. I want them to lock that door. I wonder if they can reach that. Thing is, I don't want them to open that door and let the gas through. I don't think there's any way for me to do that. Let's deconstruct this, see how badly I break it. Worst case scenario is I get a packet of phosphorus bouncing around in here. Though it should turn into a liquid. This is below 280. Oh, never mind. Oh, that worked quite well. Guess I don't really care about steam, because that door will keep closing. Well, let's see what I can do to this phosphorus. I do that. Oh, I'm going to have to come up to get to that. I'm going to have to do something like this. I just want to build that tile to delete that phosphorus. And it's getting a bit warm in here. Which actually isn't a problem. It's like right now, I can just do that at an 8. It'll seal that back in, this will close and turn into a vacuum, and then I can get the heat back out. Alright, there'll be lots of micromanagement to dig down into here. Yeah, things I did not know. So Catalina here is actually incapacitated, and that doesn't show it. I'm still doing the fleeing icon. Where are you going? What are you even doing? Because for some reason she decided to stand in this door, which should have been closed, and just got pummeled by the poke shells. Yeah, see, her health bar is nothing. But I didn't realize that when they're assigned to the bed in the hospital, they then use that mess table. So, whatever, they'll get healed up. Over here, just waiting on this temperature to come back down to something reasonable. And otherwise, everything else around here is working fantastic. You know, ooh, there's a question. I have not looked at this. These always take forever to load up. And can you tell where I turned on the sour gas generators? That I don't understand. But like, there's one sour gas generator and there's the second one. Power produce spike. Yeah, they don't count the rocket missions anymore. Not even counting my domesticated critters. Interesting. I just like those spikes of power wasted. I was just thinking I need to replace those tiles with a door. I don't think I need more pit bags in here, but why not? Worst case scenario, they just end up over there. If I replace these with a door, then I can just occasionally let my dupes through. Let's do that. It does mean I need to move this automation wire. And I can't go through the neutronium. Okay, still got plenty of thermium left. Come on, people. I know you can build this. The nice thing about all this stuff being made out of thermium is if I do get these heat spikes in here, I'm no longer damaging it like when you try to make this out of steel. Come on, I know there's only 4 dupes over here, but 2 of them should prioritize building. They finally got that built, and then I just have to manually cycle the door to get the gas out of there, and now the temperature in here will come down. And this area is colder. It was negative 173, and it's now negative 183. How? Just how? I don't understand. How is it colder in there now? I think I found a secret hole in the game where heat gets deleted. Like, I put in an active heating loop, taking all the heat from these batteries and putting it into there, and I still ended up with frozen hydrogen. Yeah. Well, if anyone has any ideas on that, some mechanic in the game I'm not thinking about, or did I just find a magic 0-point energy section of the spaced out universe? Because, yeah, that is another frozen chunk of hydrogen. I'm going to put a tepidizer in here. Yeah, I'm going to go into debug mode. I'm going to open this up, put a hydrogen generator in here, and a tepidizer. Something to warm this up. We're going to call that good. I broke something in the game and I don't understand. Thank you very much for watching. Love to hear in the comments why I am freezing hydrogen with an active warming loop. If anyone has any ideas as to how that happened, I am curious.